Hi guys.
Hello.
Are we ready?
I just unmuted it.
So now we're ready.
We're
You can hear me.
Hayden, we're ready.
We are ready.
We are ready.
Are we ready?
All right. So, Damo, episode number?
It is 187.
187.
See, I was spot on earlier.
You were. You got that pretty on.
Yeah. We've just been.
I'd hope so.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, because we had an episode not too long ago. I'm pretty sure. I think I guessed it wrong. Maybe.
Yes.
You're like episode 200.
We got it wrong.
Yeah.
Just the car starts piling on.
That's it.
Catches up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But that's it. We've got episode 200 coming up.
Yeah, that'll literally happen in like the next couple of months, won't it? It'll come around so quickly.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
But tonight. So we have Hainesy on.
Not episode 200.
Yeah, tonight is episode 187. Hainesy.
Hayden. Hayden.
Hayden. Yeah.
Hades.
Sorry.
Hainesy is Harry.
Shit. I'm so sorry.
You're
what
right.
a way to start this. Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
I'm running on no sleep, by the way.
No, I mean, I fucked it up with my shitty jokes.
I was going to say, I saw your thing and you've been up since like 6 or something this morning, haven't you?
Yeah. All it was that I had a Red Bull yesterday, so
there you go.
I don't know how to explain it. So I have a Red Bull at 10 p.m. and then I just can't sleep till 5 a.m., 6 a.m. It's not good.
It just doesn't wear off, does it?
And that's it, yeah. Anyway, so let's get into this. So
Yes.
you're a DJ?
I am a DJ, yes.
And you're getting into production as well?
I am trying to become more consistent in production, yes.
Nice,
I am currently trying to give it another crack. I keep having phases of doing it for maybe 2 or 3 months consistently, and then something else just takes my attention and I kind of fall off the bandwagon. And
that's fair. I mean, production is so much dedication, so much time. It's such a full-on thing.
Yeah, and for me, I need more than just an hour to, I guess, sit down and be able to focus and actually make something. I definitely need like 2 or 3 hours to actually even just get original like drums down, for example. I take my time with it for sure.
So how long have you been DJing for? Like, how did you get into the music industry? Like, you're pretty prominent now. I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to quickly share the video, but keep going.
It's coming up to 3 years of playing out in nightclubs and bars now.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah, we can take it back like as far as high school.
Let's
or
go.
even we
even further.
Or
let's go even further.
I mean, I'm sure this is the same story for a lot of people, but I kind of got into electronic music when Skrillex released his Scary Monsters EP or album.
Yeah,
can't remember which one. So I remember getting into that. I remember I had like the little square iPod Nano, and that was one of the first songs I actually purchased off iTunes onto that iPod Nano.
Really?
Yep.
Classic Scary Monster, not surprised.
Yeah, that's it. And basically that was the gateway into electronic music, and then growing up I was discovering more and more electronic artists, and then going into high school I was always kind of that kid. We were still allowed to use like phones and stuff during recess and lunchtime. I was always that kid that was always just finding the weirdest songs on SoundCloud and showing my friends at recess and lunch.
That's awesome though.
Yeah,
but
it was
when
cool.
you say the like most obscure out there, like experimental electronic music,
and I think by that time I was really into like trap and dubstep, and then I think it really kind of took off in popularity like around 2017 when rhythm kind of became a thing. So even around
old rhythm.
I know. Even around that time, like I said, I was literally just finding the most obscure stuff, the weirdest. I'm sure if you went on my SoundCloud, I still actually no, I've deleted all my playlists now.
Oh, really?
I used to make public playlists of all the different sorts of weird music I used to find and make them public so my friends could listen to it.
What's some of the weirdest tracks you found?
I genuinely cannot remember. They would generally be like one of those ones like the rhythm tracks, so they're like super not minimal, but like the drums are like super minimal, but the bass is like just super like heavy, for example. So it'd be like a very minimal intro and then the drop just kind of catches you super off guard. Did
you ever get into things like Aphex Twin or anything like that, or because that's
did. I think it rings a bell. I remember definitely finding some of their songs. But I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. That's it.
Take no fines. Oh, here we go.
Nah, so recently I've kind of changed my whole SoundCloud. I got rid of all the playlists that I quite literally had 30 different playlists of just different sorts of music. I had like a house one, a bass house one, trap, dubstep, even hip hop. I found a lot of weird hip hop.
Well, I gotta say though, it's like from doing the Sunday live stream with Soon, like for Soon TV, the tracks you were playing there was mint, like so good. That was like disco-y kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Can we see if we can pull up the Twitch, the live stream? If that's all right, and we'll promote the hell out of it. But.
Yeah, I still haven't listened back to it. It's on this USB, the recording of it. I've got to listen back to it.
Really? So you recorded your set?
Yeah, was it? I think whoever's Dex it was said that I could plug it into the right USB slot and you could record your set directly to the USB.
No way.
And I was like, I'll just do that. I mean, I haven't done that for a while.
What deck was that again?
XDJ XZ, I believe.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure any of the XDJ controllers allow you to do that because I know my ones at home do that as well.
Yeah, okay.
That's how I've recorded, I think, the 2 promo mixes that I've got on there. It's so convenient because I know some people that do their mixes, they connect their laptop up and they record it straight into Ableton. I haven't even figured out how to do that. I'm
really?
just like,
they record straight into Ableton?
Yeah, I don't. They wire it and program it in a way that the audio runs straight from the decks into Ableton. It records that, and then I guess the sound also comes through the speakers as well.
I always just record my stuff straight through Native Instruments. So
yeah,
like just through Traktor, it's just got a built-in recording function.
Yeah, so. I think before I got my decks, which are the XDJ RX1, I had the 400, and I think even Rekordbox literally just has like a record function.
Yeah,
and it will record it. You stop it, and then it will save it. And then you can play it back or upload and do whatever you want with it. But literally, my decks, it's the same as the one on Sunday. Literally has a record button. You just press it and stop it whenever you want.
No, very nice,
I don't know if it's got any of the microphone stuff in it as well that Major was talking about before and after. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
But yeah, I'm gonna plug my USB in and listen to it. It's just gonna be Major talking for the first 30 seconds. I hope he's
in it.
Yeah,
because that was so funny. It's like, hello Hyde Park.
Talking.
Deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't like my music,
that's it. Yeah,
that's quite funny.
So how did you get in? So you started off with Scared Monsters, Nice Sprites, finding obscure, cool music in school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then how did the DJing come into it? And then like.
So
progression.
As soon as turned 18, started going out to nightclubs and stuff. I think because also during high school I was really kind of like head down. I was doing ATAR. I was just really focusing on study and getting like the best grades possible. I ended up with a decent ATAR, but then I think as soon as that finished, turned 18, and then I just wanted to blow out, I guess, a little bit, or went out literally every Friday and Saturday night for I can't even remember how long. And from my memory, I think I was in Humble, and Humble was literally just starting up. And
right back in the day.
Yeah, I could not tell you who was playing at the time, but I remember watching them, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm sure I can do this. I'm sure I can give it a crack. But it wasn't until I went to uni, I did first year, and then I started second year, and then I failed a unit twice, and uni actually sent me a thing being like, we're going to terminate you from your course because you're not academically capable of finishing this course. Because I failed a unit twice, which
I thought it had to be like 3 or 4 times.
Everyone tells me this, that it was 3 or 4 times that you have to fail a unit and then they kick you out, but for some reason Curtin was like, nah, 2 times you're out. And I was like, all right. They gave me options to like appeal it, so I appealed it 3 times and kept going up and up and up the hierarchy. And every single time I was like, they just said no. And I was like, I'll even drop to half time and you do 2 units for a semester just to get through it. And they were like, nah. So I was like, bugger them.
What were you studying?
I was doing laboratory medicine, which sounds a lot harder than what it actually is. I think it's just a fancy term for biomedical medicine at Curtin. So quite literally,
sounds pretty fancy.
It does. Yeah, everyone says laboratory medicine. Like, wow, you must be smart. I'm like, it's literally just doing lab work. But it was a human bio. I didn't do it in high school, so I struggled. But anyway, they kicked me out. That was mid 2019. And I think I was considering at that time, that one. Curtin.
Are you applying? Damo's applying.
I actually tried reapplying because I'm now back at uni now, but I tried reapplying to Curtin added. I couldn't even tell you what my login is anymore. I tried reapplying to them and they wanted me to send them like a full letter, like, why should we reconsider you? I was like, buggy, I'm not going back to you anyway.
Well, sometimes it's just a bit of paper at the end of the day. It can literally just be a bit of paper.
That is. But yeah, I was considering in my second year like buying DJ decks anyway, because it was like 2018 where I was like getting interested in like what DJs do, the music, the blending of music, and I was like really interested in how they do that. Mid 2019 when I got kicked out of uni, I basically just impulse bought this bundle of DJ City, which was 2 speakers and the DJ 400.
What speakers was it, like KRKs?
Oh no, there was one that there was a bundle with KRKs, but that was like $1,000. But these ones were literally like $650, I think.
Yeah, okay. Then.
They were 2 Pioneer.
Oh, the Pioneer speakers.
The Pioneer ones, but they're like the cheap ones. They're like the
entry level kind of stuff.
Yeah. SR SB12 or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, okay.
The entry level ones, yeah, for sure. And I just basically impulse bought it. Didn't even think about it. I was just like, I'm just gonna buy it. Rocked up, and I didn't even tell my parents or my brothers. I was just buying these, and then they come home one day. I was like, "What on earth have you got?" And I was like, "DJ decks," and I was just basically messing around with it for ages.
So your parents are literally like, "What's in the box?"
Yeah, I think I told them that I was buying like some music thing, and they're like, "Oh, cool."
So
oh no, not that one. It's the DJ 400. That's a Serato one.
Seems like everyone starts on those these days.
Because it's Pioneer. Oh, so obviously it's Pioneer. It's record box, and I think if you do enough research and you want to like eventually upgrade, everyone says you're probably going to eventually get on CDJs, which is record box anyway. Yeah. So a lot of people say you'd rather go the 400.
Just a quick shout out to Matt Clark and
Jordan.
Yeah.
He's making moves at the moment. He's in Broome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's making big moves.
Yeah, 3 days in Broome at the moment. He's just come back from Hobart as well. He's absolutely killing it at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him.
Big shout out.
Yeah.
So what were we saying just before? So
that's the one. Yeah. So all the research I did was like the layout of the decks are very close to CDJs. And yeah, it's record box based as well. And I've heard, like, I read some things that people like, I started on Serato and then I had to transfer everything into record box. So I bought them, messed around on it for ages. And then my brother is doing videography, and I think at the time he was trying to get started in videography as well. So he was kind of getting the same sponsored content on his Facebook and Instagram that I was getting, and he came across the Institute DJ School, which was just starting up, which Brandon started up. So
good old Wilco,
yeah. So Jared was like, my brother, and he was like, "Oh, you should sign up for this." And I was like, "Oh, I'm still pretty." Actually, I think I was 4 or 5 months in at this point, and I was like, "Stuff it, I'll pay the money and start it," because eventually I want to upgrade and get better and play out, because that was the goal. And yeah, joined that school. I was in the very first semester of it. Did it at Arcade Nightclub. Had Mike DeWitt was my teacher.
So how'd you find it though? Like overall teaching and everything?
Oh, sick. Like, it was just so cool being at the nightclub actually it was very strange being at the nightclub during the day when everything is like daylight, and they chuck the lights on, they put the proper speakers on and everything, full CDJ setup. And basically playing like your tunes that I've played through like my tinny little speakers at home, and now on this nightclub sound system. I remember the first time I played, I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And yeah, just basically learnt from that, learnt how to play on CDJs, did that 10-week course. It took me a little while to actually do that. I didn't do 10 weeks like in 10 weeks.
Away. Oh, so they actually let you break it up in the whole lot?
You could if you had things on. And I think because I was working a lot at the time as well, because I was now out of uni and I found like a job that was at least giving me hours to support myself to some degree.
What were you doing for work?
I was just starting up at a bowl shop, BWS, my local one, which is fun. It was part-time, but they were giving me like 30 hours a week.
That's not bad,
my contract was like 10 at the time when I started, but going into Christmas time, which is when I first started the Institute, it was just more than 30. Just so many. So it definitely, I think it took me almost 15 or 20 weeks to do a 10-week course, but then, finished that. And then it was kind of like where to go from here. Because I finished, I was like, knew how to do everything, but then it was like going out and I guess networking and trying to meet people.
See, that's what a lot of people like don't realize is like you can be a really good DJ.
Yeah.
You can be a really great producer.
Yeah.
But unless you know how to be an extrovert and go out and socialize and chat and meet people and just make those connections, it's so hard to break out into the industry.
Yeah,
so.
That's it. And I think at that time, like, I was so keen on becoming a bass house DJ because I think at the time that was really kind of where it was going.
Off,
It was like tech house was just getting up, and I was like, the bass house that was coming out at the time was just more energetic versions of like tech house. It wasn't like the big growls and like Jaws type stuff that it was like very deep sort of bass house that was coming out. So I was like, I want to do that, but then Mike was like, it depends, because there are definitely events that cater for your style of music, but if you want to go out and find work, you have to do commercial music. And
That's
I was like, fine, I'll learn how to do commercial music.
But it's the same thing with bands as well. It's like if you go out as an original band and you're going to try and make it big, it is really difficult. But if you go as a cover band, you can play almost anywhere.
Play things that people know, and then people will actually come and watch
every single Friday.
Mr. Brightside and all these ones.
Well, how did you find the networking then as well? So like, what was your steps like for people that are breaking out into the industry or learning and stuff like that?
I remember
how did you go about it?
I remember I struggled a little bit for ages. I remember even one time I almost considered just like, because I remember I was going out every Friday and Saturday, just being in nightclubs. I think at the time, Paramount was where all my friends were still going, and that was also one thing Mike told me, was like, go support the venues that you want to play at. And all my friends were still going to Paramount, so I was always at Paramount every Friday and Saturday, just being there. And I think I talked to a few people, but really didn't get anywhere. My mate Evan, who was doing the ECU University, he was part of the Student Guild. I think EMAS is Curtin and UWA. But they call it, I think they just call it the Student Guild at ECU. He ended up becoming the head of that. And was organising all the uni parties there as well. And he ended up getting me, my first ever gig was the Halloween party there. And this was, they don't do it anymore, unfortunately, but this was when they did it across the road from the uni, where there's got like this grass area. They set up like a proper stage.
What was the name for the Halloween party? To see if Damo can find it.
I think it was just like ECU. If you go on my Facebook page, it can go down far enough. I'm pretty sure I would have put it on there, but it was just like ECU Halloween 2020, I think it would have been. That was my first ever one, and it was on this big ass stage, and for some reason I wasn't actually nervous, which was really strange, because you would have thought like
or anything, just like
playing in front of a crowd. I don't think I really played in front of like too big of a crowd, but being on that stage was really cool, and that was my first ever one. And then Evan booked me for a couple of other ECU ones,
all commercial music though as well.
All commercial. The thing is about the uni students is that they'll kind of get around like really anything.
That's it. And a party.
It seems like the crowd that go to these uni parties are like there's a few like, I guess, locals, if you want to say, like people who live in Perth who go to the uni that rock up. But it is predominantly like exchange students. So a lot of people just get pissed in their accommodation literally at the uni, and then they all come in groups over. So they don't really care like what music gets played, as long as they hear some commercial stuff.
That's it,
And I think
just gotta keep them happy, and then that way they go and they just get drunk and party their asses off.
That's it. But no, that
was it. That one.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
Damn. So even Azza was playing that. Yeah, Catharis was playing that as well.
Who's on there? Who? Yeah, me. Yeah, Jordan was on it.
Go to the
Jordan.
First
that was it. I mean, it wasn't really too big of a crowd. It definitely picked up a little bit going into Adrian's set, and then
the photo before that into Adrian's set.
Yeah, because Adrian played after me. And Adrian's an absolute wizard when it comes to commercial music, and he's got like all the audio visual stuff as well.
I've only ever met him once, but he seems like a really cool dude.
Oh yeah, he's been the Paramount resident for like 6 or 7 years. Every Saturday,
that's it,
9 till 5, and he just does all the AV stuff, and it's sick. So yeah, I did that. So that was a big stage for me at the time. I was like, that was a big one. Like,
was that you?
Yeah, proper podium and everything.
But it's still Halloween. You're wearing like a full cloak. That's awesome. Like,
yeah, honestly, the next 3 Halloweens that I've played, I've worn that exact same thing. I haven't bothered getting a new one.
Yeah, sweet.
But yeah, did that, and then what happened after that? I did a couple of other smaller ECU ones. ECU did some like some fashion shows and some other really small niche sort of parties which I played at.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dan, Mr. Dan.
When was that? Oh, mid-June. That was around COVID time. That was an interesting time period. Because then I think Adrian I remember playing before Adrian. Adrian came up and wanted my songs. I never sent him any, but he was like, "Oh, I want some of your like mashups you play," and I was like, "No." No, I wasn't. No, I was like, "I'll send you some." It never ended up happening. But then from there, I played played a couple of ECU, and then Harrison hit me up to play Paramount downstairs, and it was 2 till 5 a.m. It was a 3-hour set, and at the time I was only still playing like house music, and he told me it was a full R&B and hip hop set, and I was like, this is definitely different because on CDJs, learning stuff that's not 4 to the floor, which is easy to line up in your ears, learning hip hop was like very different. And I had a bunch downloaded, but I never actually learnt it. And even when he hit me up 2 days before the gig, and I chucked all these songs into a playlist, and I don't even think I practiced it. I was just like, I'm just going to go in. It is what it is. If I stuff it up, then I'm just not going to be a DJ. But I rocked up and...
so harsh on yourself.
No, I don't know. Yeah. I tell you, I was so harsh on myself when I first started. I was like, this gig might be my only one, and if I stuff it up, no one wants to book me or anything. That was my mindset at the time, but then I realized that's not really how it is. If you stuff up, then sometimes you get like another opportunity. But I somehow did really well with that R&B set, and he put me on almost every single Friday 2 till 5 from there, and that's kind of was how I got the ball rolling from there. So
doing the graveyard shift.
Doing the graveyard shift, I actually enjoyed it at the time. Doing hip hop R&B, there was a really good crowd downstairs on those nights.
So whereabouts was it again?
Paramount downstairs. So it wasn't like a party set. It was quite literally just straight hip hop R&B.
Was that for What If Fridays?
Yep. And then so I basically rinsed that for ages, and then that's when COVID kind of came around.
What happened for you around that time, though?
It was an interesting time period for sure, because Paramount was really the only slot that I had secured. I kept doing like a couple of ECU things, and then I think at the time even Adrian was getting me on at Prince Lane a little bit, doing like some really long like Saturday bar gigs. But then it kind of just went a bit flat, and because we kept going in and out of lockdown and like some restrictions, and then it was like, oh, we can have people in the nightclub but sitting down, and then all these sort of things. I think all like the bigger DJs was kind of securing those slots, so me trying to get the ball rolling and get more gigs and whatnot kind of just was at a halt at the time, because I couldn't like get myself in and play really any of those COVID gigs.
But see, that's what I've explained in like the last couple of podcasts and mentioned, I think maybe 2 or 3 times in the last couple of weeks. But it's like, it's imagine, I guess there could be like 1,000 DJs in Perth. But
it's getting that way.
Yeah. Then,
or at least it feels like it.
Yeah, exactly. And then how do you fit 1,000 DJs in the 9 nightclubs that we have? Like,
even I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit at the moment. Like some of the places that I have played almost every weekend for the last 2 or so years, I'm slowly they're just getting more, they're either getting just younger, like fresh people in, and just giving them a shot. I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit as well, because it's just so saturated at the moment. Everyone who wants to be a DJ is getting themselves up to a point where they can play, and then they kind of get the same thing. They get told, if you want work, then you have to play commercial music, and then they do commercial music, and then it's just this big pool of DJs and just not enough venues to fill everyone every weekend.
It's just like a cycle almost as well.
Yeah, that's
it's like,
it.
New DJs will come in, they'll play a couple of sets, they'll get their foot in the ground, the whole lot, then they might go elsewhere and do other things.
Yeah.
But then it's like in 2 years, 3 years, they might fade out or they might stick around.
Yeah.
But it's like just the gigs that you play at, the venues that you play at, you just start branching out and,
Well, that's exactly what I did. I wouldn't say I was really the best networker, so to speak. I wasn't really proactively, I guess, going out to a venue, for example, that I want to play at, finding who the booker is and being like, hi, this is me, I'm Hayden, I'm a fresh DJ, I want to get gigs. I was never really that person. I was more so a person that would at least show up to the gigs and I guess be around people, but I managed to get most of my gigs from people either advertising it on like Instagram or Facebook, being like, I'm looking for more DJs to add to my roster.
Yeah.
Or someone would be like, oh, emergency need my gig covered, and then I would go and do it, and I don't want to sound too cocky, but I would do it well, and then they'd be like, oh, this person's actually all right, and then they keep me on. That's actually how I've managed to get literally most of my gigs, is just getting my foot in the door, doing that one gig, and then being like, this person's not half bad, and then I've somehow just stayed on.
That's how it happens, though.
Yeah.
But see, like, that's literally how it happens. You know, for example, like, I just played at the Boat in Mindari, and I had dance floor all night, worked out really, really well. But I didn't really play house music. Usually they just want nothing but house music. But I played commercial everything. Yeah. Played a little bit of house as well. But then through that, the manager was like, yeah, we want you back all the time. I'm like, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my job.
That's what you got to do. I made that. I've done a couple of gigs where I've played to what the venue wants more than the crowd. And most of the time, the venue knows what the crowd wants. But most of the time, I remember one event specifically I played was they wanted 2000s R&B and like hip hop, that sort of throwback sort of stuff. And I rocked up, and the guy who played before me had played literally all the bangers of 2000 hip hop R&B. So I was like, great, what am I going to play? But everyone was holding up on their phone like all this new hip hop, like, or if you want to call it new, but just like Travis Scott and Kendrick Lamar and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, this is not the brief that I have been told, and I didn't actually have it prepared, which is my fault. But basically, I managed to keep a crowd for maybe 15 or 20 minutes to play the remaining bangers of like 2000. And then I was doing like a 3-hour set, and unfortunately the last 2.5 hours, everyone kind of just faded off because they wanted the 2000s, and that's all I had prepared. And I'm like, after I finished it, I was like, yeah, that probably wasn't the right music for that crowd. I probably should have had a bit more
But see, that's
variety.
The interesting thing, like, to dive into this kind of like point in a way, when a venue, like, I've experienced this quite a few times, but so the venue manager says, oh, we want upbeat and funky. Yeah. What does that mean? And then or they say, like, it's just a house music venue. But then you get punters requesting things that aren't house music. But it's like, sure, that's the vibe, the atmosphere. But shouldn't the whole vibe and the atmosphere be
what the crowd wants?
What the crowd wants.
Yeah,
you
for
keep
sure.
the girls and the boys happy, and they'll spend money on the bar, and you get to play longer, and on top of that, the bar makes more money.
Yeah.
That's what's so silly sometimes.
Yeah. I think you just learn as well. Like, I did that one and was like, okay, that wasn't really the right music to play for that one. And I think now I've done like a very vast array of like gigs that I at least have a playlist that covers most of the general gigs you'd get in Perth. I have like my party playlist, which has got like 600 odd songs in it, branching from like just cheesy commercial music to like house edits and everything like that. I've got like my bar playlist, which has got also like 600 songs of just like pop music just to fill time. Then I've also got a disco playlist, and then I've got like a very small hip hop playlist, and then a pretty large R&B one. And then I'm like, that basically covers most bases to like in these sort of scenarios where it's like, if a venue says they want house music but they want commercial, at least I've got commercial there now. So I think at that time, like for this event I keep going back to, I just didn't have that variety in music yet.
Well, see, I just try and steer clear of venues that actually just want house music, or just want this, or just want that. Because it's like being able to have the free form, the freestyle, just to be able to play whatever you want. But it, as I said, it comes down to the bar making money. Yeah. It's like if the bar's not making money, you're not doing your job properly. But if you're just playing background tech house, then it's like, it's pretty boring sometimes.
It is, But I'm like that person, like if someone asks me to do like a very obscure sort of gig, I'll find a way to get the music together and actually do it. I've just figured out that throwing myself in the deep end, like if I just do like a new bar or like a night that's got like different sort of music, then I see it as like an opportunity to download like new music and I guess cover like a different basis.
Well, that's it. Do more research and just be a part of it.
I'm kind of finding that a little bit now with where I'm trying to take DJing as well. Like I definitely want to try get more gigs that are not just commercial and try go more into the rave sort of scene. So like techno, I think hard groove is really big at the moment. And my favorite is hard techno as well. But even just trying to build those playlists as well for the gigs that I have coming up as well. It's good to do.
But see, that's the thing about it though as well. It's like when you go and play nightclubs and you do a 1 hour set, you don't get paid that much, unfortunately.
Oh no, yeah.
But that's where it's like, people do it for the passion of it because they love it and they want to do it.
Yep.
But then it's like you compare like a 1 hour set to a 6 hour set at a pub.
Yep.
It's like a 6 hour set, you can make a whole lot more money.
Yeah.
It can be enjoyable as long as you like that music and enjoy it and love to play that music. It's the only thing about it.
Yeah. I'm lucky that the promoters that are booking me most weeks are giving me 3 hour club sets. So at least it makes it, I guess, somewhat also worth it. Like, I don't mind playing. The clubs that I do play for always get decent crowds. So it's easy to feed off them and get back. So playing for 3 hours, it seems like a really, that seems to be the sweet spot to do one of those sort of gigs. But like I said, the 1 hour ones, unless it's like a techno gig or like one of those really one-off ones.
That's it, or you're opening for a big act or something like that.
I'd love doing that. I'll do those ones for free, to be honest, because I love doing it. But the commercial ones,
So what differentiates yourself from other DJs? Like, what do you do differently compared to other DJs to make you, like, you know, just in a way, just like, so like for me, so what I do is like I'll play the tequila song. I'll run to the bar, get 2 shots of tequila, run back, and then people are like, where the hell's the DJ going? And then I play the tequila song, and they're like, oh shit, and I slam 2 shots of tequila. And they're like, well, he's ready to party. I want to party. Let's party. Like,
I don't think I really have any of those, like, things like you just said that I guess makes me different. I think I went through a phase where I was really just playing exactly what the crowd wants. They just want commercial music. Now I'm trying to like make it a little bit different, and because I'm trying to go down this techno pathway and eventually just go straight toward like techno only. At the moment I'm trying to incorporate more techno into like these commercial sets. I hate it, but hyper techno is really big at the moment in nightclubs. It's like, so you know how you get like tech house edits, for example, you get like people grab acapellas of commercial songs and put them over tech house songs. At the moment, hyper techno is like a 140 BPM techno song with commercial acapellas over the top, but it's super like.
So is that kind of like
I don't know if you play any of them. I don't think it will really do justice, because I've been on this website before and tried finding hyper techno, and it really wasn't quite the same.
Really?
It's quite literally just like a techno kick drum and like a reverse bass over an acapella, you know.
Right, this one.
Yeah, literally. That's quite literally it. Yeah, they look like it.
S&M hyper techno remix.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I mean, Freed from Desire would be cool. A Poker Face?
There's some cool ones, but a lot of it just sounds exactly the same. But that just seems to be the trend at the moment, and I guess I'm just feeding into it a little bit.
But it's so crazy how it's like there's the original music, but then there's so many edits or remixes. So many. And then it's like, I mean, for me, I always like playing the original, because the original is the original song in a way. But obviously there are some really good remixes out there. Yeah. But I find like a lot of like the dancey remixes almost like ruin the track in a way.
I remember even a year or two ago, like this, I have a massive playlist of just house edits. So it's literally just the original that goes into like a tech house drop. Sometimes a drop has the acapella over the top, but sometimes it is literally just like a tech house edit. I don't even play them anymore, because it seems like people don't like that anymore. People just like to sing basically the whole entire time.
That's exactly.
If they hear like a drop, they want to at least know what the drop is. So like any sort of like Fisher tune or anything like that, you could probably play the originals of that, but any sort of like obscure tech house at the moment, one seems to it doesn't seem to be received that well.
That's it. But
I guess it also is depending on the club as well. Like, I know Fridays at Magnet House you could play all that sort of stuff, but like Paramount, for example, it would have to be pretty like stripped back tech house edits, or some of the other ones I play. But yeah.
But then, so what is it like playing at Paramount then? Like, is it good fun? Like,
I haven't done it for a little bit. I have. The only times I've only been able to play there are like the 2 to 5 slots, so like the graveyard ones.
But still, like, it's usually still pretty busy from 2 a.m. onwards.
Yeah, right? they do really well at that nightclub.
Yeah.
They have a really good crowd that rocks up literally every single week in, week out. You basically know what you're going to get every time you play there. The 2 to 5 is fun because you kind of get the first hour and a half, maybe you have to kind of stick to the music policy, but then 3:30 onwards you can kind of stray away a little bit and play some more cooler stuff. And I'm trying to do that a bit more. The late slots that I do, I'm trying to play a bit more cooler music that's not just like hip hop and R&B, you know, like I know hip hop and R&B usually works really well for like the late hours, but I'm really trying to change it up a little bit, both for my own sanity and just to see, test things out.
I reckon it'd be like more like, 120 to like 150 BPM, because then it's like more unts. Like hip hop and R&B can be quite, chill, mellow, but sexy at the same time. So it gets the girls going.
Oh, for sure.
But see, I've always thought like, hip hop R&B to start off with, and then work your way up, and then once you get to like, I don't know, maybe 1 a.m., then it's just like make it an absolute rave cave.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started doing those really late slots at Paramount, I always just played house edits and remixes and stuff. Sometimes would go through to drum bass and then bring it back down to house. But now like I was saying before, I think the house edits that I've got at the moment, I need to get some new ones because I don't think they're really being received as well anymore. They're
That's why it's so crazy.
The trends are changing so quickly.
That's it. Bloody TikTok.
I don't have it anymore.
No. So I don't have it, never will get it.
No, I had it for ages. I had a really bad screen time on it, and I was like, I really need to get rid of this. I was spending maybe 4 or 5 hours a day on TikTok.
Damn.
And I was like, this is an issue. So I got rid of it. And to be honest, like YouTube shorts are not a good replacement at all, because I end up scrolling through them, but I spend a lot less time on them.
Yeah.
If I ever reach for my phone, I might look at it for maybe 15 minutes, but I'm not on it for like hours and hours on end like TikTok.
What did you do, Damo? Because you, on your phone, I remember seeing on your phone how you had that little timer at the top corner.
Yeah.
And it's like, it'd actually tell you how long you're spending on each app. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. So
it's like live on the top of you.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was amazing. So it's like, you could literally like open up Facebook and it'd start a timer.
Oh, it's depressing.
Yeah.
What app is it?
I forget what it was called, because I ended up, because I got a new phone, I ended up not getting it. It was like something like time tracker app.
Oh, okay.
But it sounded amazing though, like from watching his phone, because then it's like you could go on Instagram and you'd be scrolling, doom scrolling, you're like, oh shit, I've been on this for 3 minutes 50.
Yeah.
Maybe I should not do this. Like,
yeah. You see, I'm terrible because I have phases where I'm like, I want to become more productive, and then I'll go down this rabbit hole of like Reddit forums and YouTube videos and like, what are the best apps to become more productive and do these things these days? And like, I'm pretty sure I found an app that basically you can set it up and you can either block out like a certain time. So like, for example, after midnight, you won't be able to access any of the apps, or it will be like you can spend an hour on Facebook per day, and then you can set it up, and as soon as you, depending how you set it up, you won't be able to access Facebook.
Yeah, that's cool.
I have it on my phone and I've had it on there for 6 months. I haven't set it up. See, that's my issue. I'm like, oh, do I really want to set this up? Do I really want to go down this? But yeah,
that's completely fair.
But no, doom scrolling's terrible. I'm the worst for it.
Yeah.
I really need to sort it out. But
it's just so many people get addicted to it. They don't even realize they get addicted to it.
Even when
it sucks you in, basically.
Even when I sit down and go like, right, I'm going to do something productive, and then like 10 minutes later, I go to reach for my phone, I get a notification or something, and then I'm going through Instagram Reels again.
That's it.
So
then so this is screen time. Okay.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I've got like a widget on my phone, like on my home screen, that will tell me how long I've been on my phone per day. But the thing is that once it becomes your home screen, you kind of just get accustomed to it and you don't really look at it.
Yeah, that's it.
So
that's exactly it. Yeah. So with the music then, so like, what are some of the funnest gigs you've ever done then? And also, like, what venues do you play at these days? Like,
so the ones these days, I do Market Grounds a lot. They've been so good to me. They have such on Saturdays. Yeah. Luke, who runs Motive, he has a small group of DJs that gives us regular work, which is great, because like I'm basically booked there almost sometimes it's not really weekly, it's mostly bi-weekly, so every second week. Sometimes I might do 3 or 4 like in the month. He's gotten me over to, he's just started up a new night in the Claremont Hotel.
Yeah, I saw
They've
that,
renovated that place and like started. I think
I've played there a couple of times. So
so I've played there a little bit recently as well. That's my main one on Saturdays, and then I do Hugo's as well on Friday nights in Fremantle.
Is that still through Ben as well?
Yeah, Ben does all that. Ben's also.
Place though, like.
That's what I mean. It's really fun. The crowd is really responsive there as well.
Yeah. It's a good setup though. It's like you're on the side and the dance floor's like right there.
Yeah.
It's lengthways almost as well.
Oh, they had the worst decks there for so long, and
I remember,
we basically made a collective complaint about them, and then we're like, we've now got 3000s, and I think it's not a DJM 900, but it's the cheaper version of it. It basically mimics a 900, but it's such a nice setup.
Yeah.
So much better. The crowd is super good there as well. You can get away playing like some cooler music there as well, and the crowd's pretty responsive to it. That's my main Friday one as well. And then just some different bars and stuff as well. I occasionally play the Avery on Sundays as well, which is just like a chill bar gig.
Avery on Sunday would be nice, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't do it every Sunday, and I don't think they have a DJ every Sunday, but if they've got like a sporting event, or I'm pretty sure in the summer they'll be doing it every Sunday. But play there occasionally as well, and Ben's just picked up a couple of different bars as well, which I'll do as well. But yeah, mainly they're the two main clubs I'm doing at the moment, and then just a lot of like one-off bars that I've like pieced together on my schedule, so definitely try to fill them up.
How do you find like doing all of it and then hitting Sunday or Monday and like just recovering? 'Cause do you have a day job as well?
Yeah, I'm still at BWS.
No.
That was terrible. When I first started DJing and doing these Paramount gigs 2 to 5.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I was a part-timer, I was contracted to do certain hours each week. And I remember finishing at 5, which meant I got home at like 5:30. And even lying in bed and the sun was coming up, I wouldn't be able to sleep till 6. I was starting my day job at 8:30 on a Saturday. So I was getting like 2.5 hours sleep max. And then doing like 7 hours at BWS. It's not a hard job. It's one of the quieter BWSs that I've worked at. I literally just sit there, and during the day, like I just sit on my phone most of the time, but I was there just struggling. I did that for maybe 2 or 3 months until I went to the manager and was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm genuinely struggling. And then sometimes I would have to back that up and do this.
The manager at Paramount?
The manager at my day job at BWS. I was like, I need to start. I need to start later. Start me at like midday at least, so I can get at least 5.5, 6 hours sleep. I can function on that. And even sometimes when I was doing that 8:30 a.m. at BWS, I would sometimes have to back that up and go to Prince Lane at like 8 p.m.
Really?
So I'd sometimes have like another 2-hour nap, but then I'd go back out and do another 4 or 5, sometimes even 6 hours there, and that was rough.
So that's it. I've always encouraged people to just like have naps. You need to have naps when you're doing the industry like what we do. Like you need to have naps.
And it's only really now that I'm becoming way more conscious of sleep and stuff. I can still I can still definitely push through and do these gigs like on absolutely no sleep, but it's not fun.
It's not fun at all.
Nah, but
it's still like it's still enjoyable, but at the same time it's like just running on empty basically.
That's it. Like I still rock up, and I mean I live off Red Bull when I'm doing these like really late ones, and like once you've loaded yourself up on Red Bull, they're not too bad, but like you said, you get to Sunday or Monday and then you just crash, don't you? It's nuts. I just sleep pretty much all through the day. I maybe wake up for 3 or 4 hours to like get some food and then just go straight back to bed.
That's it.
Sleep for another 8-10 hours.
See, that's what happened with me as well. Like when I did Lucy's Love Shack. When Lucy's Love Shack first opened, I was doing Fridays and Saturdays there. But I was doing midnight to 5 a.m. So with that, I was literally doing I was DJing at the Flying Scotsman on Friday from like 5 p.m. to 11:30. Race down, go do that from midnight to 5 a.m. Then Saturday, do another gig from like 6 till midnight. And then race down, start at Lucy's like 12:15, 12:30 or whatever.
And
then as soon as it hit Sunday, like I'd sometimes play at Peach Pit or Scarborough Beach Bar or something.
Exactly.
So on Monday, I just wouldn't leave my room. And do exactly what you did. Like literally get up, go get something to eat, go straight back to bed.
I would love more Sunday gigs, like for money reasons. But I think also at the same time, it's probably good that I get a day just to recover. And especially at the moment that I don't have Mondays off at the moment. I'm at BWS, especially during Christmas period and whatnot. So at least like Sunday can be my recovery day, and then Monday go back to day job and whatnot.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, it's been sometimes tough to juggle it all, and like I'm back at uni as well. I now just finished second year first semester, so juggling the 3, so DJing weekends, day job during the week, and then studying as well, it gets pretty
What are you
full on.
What are you studying now?
I'm now doing exercise science and rehabilitation. So
Nice, okay.
it was when I got out of high school, I was like, I'm going to do this laboratory medicine or this ECU course that I'm doing now, and I picked the obviously wrong one now.
Yeah.
So I'm now doing this exercise science uni course now.
So that's. Wait, what's that?
I was gonna say it's really interesting.
Yeah.
What is your main kind of field of interest? Are you focusing more on sort of collegiate, sort of track and field, or are you focusing much more on sort of rehabilitation?
Yeah, rehab. So because I failed at Curtin, there's like 2 levels to the course. So you can do like a general exercise science ECU course, which is like what you just said. You can go into like doing coaching or PT or just becoming like a general like tracking stats or whatever. Didn't really interest me, but the level up from that is rehabilitation. They said because I failed at Curtin, I had to do the lower course first and for the first year, and then if I've got grades good enough, then I'll go up. So I moved up this semester. I didn't even make the grades they told me they wanted to make, but they moved me up anyway. I was like, cool. So yeah, it's definitely going down a more rehabilitation pathway. I think this will lead towards becoming an exercise physiologist, and then at the end of it, I don't know if I want to commit and become a physiotherapist. That's a big commitment, but I might be something I might consider down the track. That's for something in 3 years' time anyway. So
shout out to Azza and Nicholas.
Nick's USB is the most elite USB. He doesn't DJ. But he's got the craziest UKG edits on his USB. And he just comes around. We got like there's a group of 5 or 6 of us DJs, and we're pretty supportive of each other. We go and like go to each other's gigs and hang out quite a lot. And he always brings his USB and sometimes just plugs it in. Like some of the gigs that we are able to have a bit more freedom, he just plugs the USB in, and he's got some of the funniest, coolest edits on his USB. He's known for that. He's got to get it. We got to get him a gig. I don't know where we're going to get him a gig, but. Yeah, the one gig that he will do, a UKG gig, he's going to kill it.
Maybe soon.
Soon, yeah. If you do a UKG night, get him on it.
A bass house night,
yeah. Yeah, for
UK.
Sure.
That could work out well.
Yeah.
But so with that, like, some of the funnest gigs you've done then?
Oh, yeah.
At nightclubs then, or?
Nah, I think because I've gotten to a point where I've now done so many commercial gigs, like I've racked up over 250 paid gigs in like less than it's almost 3 years now.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
95% of them have been commercial gigs, or like disco background music at bars and stuff. I've done maybe more than 5, less than 10 techno gigs. I remember the first one I did was for Body Control, which is Tina Says event that she is running.
That was at the game, right? Where Humble was?
She ran Dystopia there.
Oh, yeah.
I did a few of them. She ran that with Sammy, who does drum bass. So she did drum bass in the main room, and then she ran techno and I guess house as well in the smaller room. Yeah. But her actual event company is Body Control, and I did the first night there for her. And I did like a 2-3 techno set. Yeah, okay. And she just said, just play whatever you feel like. I was planning on only playing like 135 BPM techno. I ended up going up to like 155. I think I finished on. And that was one of the most fun sets. The crowd was solid. They were getting around it. And yeah, it was just so cool. I was like, this is like the first gig I would have absolute freedom to play whatever I feel like.
That's pretty good.
I still somehow got a song request for Kate Renata during the event, which makes no sense. But it was like the whole night has been techno in house, and you somehow request Kate Renata at like 2:30 when I'm playing like heavy techno. But apart from that, no, that was like I walked out of that and was like, that was unreal. It was so much fun.
No, that's cool.
And it gave me more motivation to, I guess, pursue that pathway.
Yeah, keep going.
Because I think during my DJ career, I've like haven't really figured, I never really found out what I wanted to do. Like at the beginning I wanted to do dubstep because I was like into finding obscure rhythms. So when I first did that, I was like dubstep, and then I was like bass house, and then dabbled into drum bass, and then I was really set on being tech house, and then tech house got super popular, and I was like, I want to find something different.
Nice.
And then techno, like the slower techno, which is now I guess business techno, I was really into that. And then that got really popular, and then I was like, I've got to find something different again. Then I went to Europe at the beginning of the year, And
Where'd you go?
I did like 13 countries and 25 cities over like 10 weeks.
Nice.
We did like a full circle of Europe. And I met this person in a hostel, and she's from the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, which is, I guess, arguably the home of like proper hard techno. And we basically bonded in the first like 10 minutes because we were like, oh, where are you from? Netherlands, Australia. Oh, that's cool. And she was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, techno? And she's like, techno? She loves techno. So, and then I think I stayed, it was in Portugal, and I think I was there for 7 days in the end. Every single day we talked about techno, and she was showing me all her techno that she listens to, and it's proper hard stuff. Yeah. And I was like, this is sick. This is absolute so then when I got back, I was like, all right, I'm going to find more of this hard techno stuff. And that's basically where I'm at right now. I kind of want to, that's what I'm trying to produce at the moment is hard techno, and figure out how all that works.
It's so good that like with Perth now, it's like we've got such an influence of techno and house coming
for sure.
Because like, you know, like 5 years ago, it wasn't like that really. Like,
it was definitely bass music.
Yeah, like you still had geisha and stuff like that, but it was always just like trap, heavy bass
dubstep.
Dubstep, electro, the whole lot.
Yeah.
But now it's like it is shifting to more techno and house and stuff.
I think it's also definitely shifted to drum bass though as well. Like all the
drum bass has always been around.
Yeah, for sure. But I think dubstep, from what I've seen, which was that? Yeah, that was my first one. That was my first techno gig. Cool. Yeah.
Where was that?
That was at Geisha Bar.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. That's
I walked out of that kind of just like laughing at how fun that was. Yeah. That's kind of what I do. I kind of just go, yeah, it was so good. Oh.
That's it. Sometimes that just happens though, right? You go do a gig and you just walk out and like, did that just happen?
Yeah. I was definitely nervous for like the first 10 or so minutes, but then after that I was like, this is sick.
That's it. All the nerves just settle in and you're fine, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Have you ever had a break off of DJing, like a week or 2 weeks without gigs or anything?
I guess Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went away for 10 weeks.
But then, like, when you came back, were you like, oh...
I was so worried. Yeah. I was so worried. Like, I got myself, like, I was doing Paramount every week. I was doing Coconut Grove every week as well. Coconut Grove were really good to me at that time as well. They were giving me Fridays and Saturdays there at the time.
Yeah, okay.
I was doing Fremantle as well, and then just other bars. That was, unreal. I remember posting that straight after. That's crazy. But yeah, I was on such a roll, and then I was like, oh, if I go to Europe for 10 weeks, I'm going to come back and have absolutely nothing. Basically did 10 weeks in Europe and came back, and I basically made it a mission. I was like, I just want to get myself back on rolling and just getting as much work as possible. And surprisingly, it picked up really quickly again. I was so fully booked out.
Did you just like hit up a few mates and then just like they actually
not even. I think I just showed my face a bit more, like to the venues that I had originally were playing at before, and then they're like, "Oh, he's back." Yeah. So then I did that, and then through June and July, like my Fridays and Saturdays were like nuts. I was doing like 10. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but on a weekend, 10-15 hour Fridays and Saturdays. Well, not 10 on Friday and 10, like 15 hours over like 2 nights. Yeah. Where I start at like 9. I was literally doing 9 till 5, like Fridays and Saturdays, all through like June and July, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's it. Like, 'cause that's the autumn period, right?
Yes, and I think
starting to come into winter. Like.
Yeah, and I think a lot of DJs ended up going to Europe as well for a break. That probably helped a lot. And that's when I picked up Market Grounds as well, so and that really helped a lot.
Market Grounds is so much fun though. Right?
So good, yeah.
Like so much.
It's my favorite commercial venue to play at for sure. The crowd is always good. They're always super responsive. You just can't play bad as long as you've got the right music. You can't play a bad song. Yeah, like you won't clear a floor with one song. That's it. That's exactly it's nuts. And all my friends come to my Market Grounds gigs as well, and it's always so much fun. Love it.
Market Grounds is amazing.
Yeah. What's it like on a Friday? I don't think I've been on a Friday before.
So Friday, it's a lot more commercial. It's the after work crowd. And so it works out really well because that way we do get more of a mixed age group. But like in a way, it seems like they're more respectful and nice.
Yeah.
I've only been like once or twice on a Saturday.
They're definitely a bit more respectful than some of the other clubs I've played at for sure. But they are a slightly older crowd as well, I would say. They're in that age bracket above. So I guess they do have a bit more I guess respect and awareness, you know.
But like
so
on the Fridays, we just find that it is a lot more commercial. But then it's like it still packs out. Still gets really busy every single Friday.
Yeah.
But obviously, like every venue, like, you know, it goes quiet through the winter and then gets busy.
Yeah, that's it.
Because like every Saturday for Market Rounds is always flat out. But then like for Friday nights, like for winter, it did die off a little bit. But it still hit 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Be packed, absolutely flat out there.
Yeah.
But it's like between like maybe 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, you have a little bit of a dip.
Yeah.
And then, you know, people be going home after their work drinks or something.
Yeah.
And then it picks back up.
I found that on Saturdays as well, though. Like, there was always a DJ playing from like 4 till 8, which you've obviously done as well. Yeah. And then like that 8 till 9:30 is where like the crowd kind of shifts around. There's always that little quiet period, but then from 10:30 onwards, it heaves. It's so busy.
That's it. Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah, it just becomes a sweat pit in there.
Yeah, it always looks like that. Well, not without the confetti, but yeah.
That's exactly it. But it's just amazing, like just weaving through the crowd as well to go get a drink or something, or you know, get in the bar.
Oh, I'm not brave enough to do that. I've got a couple of like tracks on my USB that are like pre-mixes of like songs that go for like 10-15 minutes, but I've done that once and someone jumped on the stage and just told myself I'm never doing that again.
No, that's
I mean, it was my fault for not getting a security guard or someone else who works there.
That's where it can be risky, like say places like Market Rounds, but like a pub or a bar, you can kind of get away with it.
Oh, for sure. I do it all the time for like the bars and stuff where people are not so much like with the dance floor.
That's it.
For
but
example.
at the Market Rounds, like, I mean, I can imagine you must get so many requests as well, right?
Yeah.
On Fridays, we get bombarded with them. We play the requests, but some of them are just trash. Like,
oh yeah, I remember. I remember. There's been one night I remember very specifically where I literally had started at 11, doing 11 till 2. I think I got maybe 10 in the 10 in 10 minutes, and I quite literally was just everyone like. Just please leave me alone. Like I've only just started, and that just super frustrated me. But it's up and down. Like sometimes there's a lot of requests, and then sometimes there's not.
Yeah,
I don't know. I find it with that venue, it's very up and down. But I just don't know whether it's because I'm not playing the right music for the crowd or.
See, that's it. Like I just find with Market Rounds, as long as they're grooving, having fun, like that's
sing-alongs and whatnot.
I find it's a lot more of the stage presence as well.
So
like when I do back to back with my mate Andre, it's like. You know, I'm jumping around, dancing, having a great time, getting wasted.
Is that Market Grounds as well?
Yeah, Market Grounds on the Friday. But then it's like interacting with the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've done this thing before. It was pretty funny from my perspective, but we used to, with the drink tab and the food tab, we used to get like pepperoni pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So like, I'd be up on stage, I'd be like eating pepperoni pizza like this, right? And these girls like, I want a slice, right?
Start feeding them.
No, that's it. So I had 3 girls in front of me. I was like, all right, we'll do this. And so they did that, right? But then I was so drunk, I was like, all right. And then
feeding them.
And then I literally went to throw a bit of pizza at them.
Yeah.
And, like, they wanted me to throw it at their boobs, but I got this girl in the face with pepperoni pizza. Oh, God.
You did a Steve Aoki with the pizza.
That's it. It was so funny, though.
Oh, that's great.
And, like, you know, like, I've had so much fun at that venue. We've had a bar staff given me a bit of A4 paper with, like, some requests on it. So we played the requests. But once again, I was like pretty tipsy. I made a paper aeroplane, lobbed it into the crowd, and got someone in the back of the head with it. Like, so much fun. But
I love that venue literally just for that. You can have some like harmless fun like that, and like I see it in the crowd as well. Like there's people who like make like the mosh pits and stuff, and usually I find in actual nightclubs, security really do not like the mosh pits for some reason. But in Market Grounds, like. The mosh pits are not like typical mosh pits. They just make space and like have someone in the middle, and they just have drunk people like flashing their flashlights and stuff like that, and like lifting each other up and everything like that. And they just get around it. You can get away with that sort of stuff, and the security sometimes get involved in it as well, and it's great.
But I reckon it's just because it's more of a mature age.
For sure, yeah. They just know there's not going to be anyone doing anything stupid like that.
Because that's where like it kind of sucks with some venues around Perth. It's like no matter what, if it's like. It can happen with any age demographic or anything, but I just find that some venues, like, you know, shit can go down.
Yeah.
Violence and fights and stuff like that and the whole lot. But it's just being able to control it and be able to try to educate people that don't be an idiot. Don't throw a punch.
Yeah, like, I've honestly seen some scary fights. And I stand there as a DJ and I'm like, should I stop the music? Should I turn it down? But I remember actually Mike telling me this, during the institute course that he had one instance where I think someone quite literally got knocked out at arcade.
Really?
Had to cut them. He cut the music, but the manager was like, no, keep it going, because if you cut the music, then everyone's going to be all attention on like what's going on, and then people might disperse and like go out. So you have to.
Yeah, you have to almost pretend it's just not happening.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've seen some scary ones. I've quite literally stood there in shock with some of the things that I have seen just in the corner of my eye, and I'm like, someone is going, like, sometimes I've genuinely thought people are going to get king hit. And yeah, it's very scary because you're just there, like, you still have to like do the music and like mix the songs and pretend everything's all right, and just pretend that someone is quite literally just getting a head kicked in the corner. But
but that's the thing about it though as well. It's just like, it comes down to education. That's what
for
it
sure.
really comes down to. It just don't be a dickhead. Just go out and have fun.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
Then it's just so silly because then it's like, you know, I don't know. For example, like, it could be like a guy hits on a girl, and then the girl's like, well, my boyfriend's right there. Boyfriend sees it. Boyfriend gets arced up. Then that guy gets arced up at him, and then back and forth. And
I see that so often as well. Yeah, it's.
But see, that's why it's like, you know, me, Damo, and we're going to get a few guests on. We want to do like a panel about this, but like education to be able to like stop, like it's just, it's so silly because it's like, if you've got a really hot girlfriend, right, and you take her to the market grounds, guys are gonna grab her ass.
Yeah,
and it's not cool.
I think it's getting a little bit better though. I think the awareness around that is getting a little bit better though. I think maybe back 5 years ago, sure, like that was happening a lot more. I think now it's getting slightly better, but like you said, it's still happening. And people are still going out and doing that, and at least my friends like tell me they just want to get left alone. They don't want to get touched. Everyone just kind of wants their own space with their own friends.
That's it,
and have a good time by themselves. They don't want unwanted attention from anyone else, you know.
That's exactly it. But sometimes it just comes down to that. It's just having a beer and then going out and then just having a dance and enjoying your night.
And that's the thing. I think that's the thing as well, is I think a lot of it's very alcohol induced as well. Some people definitely like to test the limits of what they can get away with when they're drunk, and then play it off like, oh, I'm just having a drink and having fun, you know.
See,
but
it's so funny. Like, I've had this guy, this ages ago, but he's banned from market grounds now.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
So he used to just come and hang out near the stage, and he was just always wasted. But he was always like, "Do you know who I am? I'm a millionaire. I'm made of money."
Oh,
and the whole
God.
I'm like, "Hi, nice to meet you. I don't care."
I don't care either.
Yeah, but he would force himself on stage in between us, and he'd be like, think he's like some sort of VIP. They'd be like, no, dude, you got to get off.
There's literally a balcony for that.
But I'd be like, you got to get off stage. And like, why? And I think whip out $100. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Get off the stage. Yeah. And then eventually, what ended up happening was he fell over in a drunken mess, couldn't get back up. So that's when security were like, nah, you got to go. Yeah. We've heard multiple complaints now. Multiple nights, you're done now.
Yeah, it just shows he can't handle his alcohol, can he?
That's it. But anyone with that idea is like, look at me, I'm made of money. That's just terrible. Like,
I've actually had that recently with people who are claiming they're DJs as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Obviously, if I know they're DJs in Perth, I'll let them come on stage because I know that they know how to respect. But I've had actually a couple of people come up and just be like, oh, I'm a DJ. And I'm like, cool. And he's like, oh, I know what all this does. And I'm like, sick. Like, I don't care. Like, I remember one time at market grounds, I really needed to go to the bathroom, and there was a security guard. Not security, it was a worker, but he was on the other, like in the beer garden. I was like holding my phone up, and I was like trying to knock on the glass because I was really desperate. I couldn't get anyone's attention. It was so busy. Like knocking on the thing, and I held my phone up, just like, need to go bathroom. Can you come here? Someone else must have seen it because they came up and was like, oh, I'm a DJ, and I'm like, are you? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know whether I trust you, hey, because I don't want to leave because it's probably going to be like 5 minutes by the time I get through the crowd, get to the other side of the venue where the toilets are, and then feed my way back. I don't know whether I trust you. And he was like, no, you can trust me. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm not doubting that you're a DJ, but I just can't trust you. And then he just stormed off in like a angry and a half. And I was like, okay, he probably wasn't a DJ, he just wanted to come up here for the thing. And then I had it last week as well at Claremont. Someone came up and was like, oh, I'm a DJ, and I'm like, I don't know if she said international or just interstate. I think she just said interstate. She's like, I'm an interstate DJ, can I mix some songs? I was like, I've got lots of followers. She quite literally said, I've got lots of followers, and I was like, I do not care.
We've had that before as well.
Yeah.
Do you have an Instagram account?
I should have. I genuinely expect them to pull up their Instagram and be like, "This is me," but none of them have done that.
Is there a DJ who would walk up to you and say, "Hey man, I'm this guy," and you would be like, "You know what? Yeah, bro, you can come up here and DJ."
No, I've never done that.
So
Nah.
that's the thing about.
Well, actually, I haven't gotten that far. The few people who have claimed they're DJs have never actually proven that they're a DJ. I just think they're just trying to find a way to get up on stage. Or not get their foot in the door, just get on the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, hypothetically though, if there's what DJ you know of is amazing, like let's say from like the Netherlands or something.
Oh,
It's like, yo, hey, what's up, man? I am, Rebuke.
I am Rebuke.
Rebuke, bro. I'm just chilling. You mind if I come up here?
He's probably gonna come in and drop like one of his big like afterlife techno sets at techno songs at Market Grounds or something like that. I'm gonna be playing like Rihanna at like 87 BPM. He's gonna like 120 techno, you know? Nah.
Oh, we've got a few more comments.
Evan, yeah. So Evan was the guy who ECU who got my foot in the door when I first started, and Mitch is my other good mate. The duo. He's started this duo Mirror with the other Hayden. Recently, he's put out some really cool tunes.
Hainsey, the other?
No, not him.
Sorry.
There's a lot. There's Harry. That's Harry.
Yeah.
And then there's me, Hayden Fraser. Hayden Coombs is his duo.
Yeah.
And there's another one, Hayden McQueen, who's making his way up the ranks as well. So there's three of us.
No, very cool. Yeah.
But yeah.
What do you feel about making like a full team and calling yourselves
Like the 5 H's or something.
No. But we said we should do, if we ever do a back-to-back-to-back, we're calling our trio just Hayden.
Just the Hayden trio.
Yeah.
Trio Hayden.
I think me and the Hayden Coombs have done a back-to-back once before, but we just called our DJ names. I think I shared the promo and crossed out like our names and just did announcing our duo Hayden and just did that. But
how is it doing back-to-backs? Like, do you enjoy doing back-to-backs? And
I am so on the fence about
wait, just quickly, what
wordplay. Hayden's
Hayden say my rabbit filled his cubby with alfalfa.
If you would do
Hayden.
full three guys, you guys call yourself Hayden Seek.
Hayden C. I'm gonna remember that actually. That's sick.
That's actually not bad at all.
We have three very different styles. Actually, no. Do you know what? I reckon we would be able to make it work because the one Hayden does like proper hard style and raw style. I'm doing hard techno. I'm trying to get that way, and then the other Hayden's doing a mix of all styles of techno. We could make it work. You should get a Hayden Seek for soon.
Yeah.
Yes, we should do it.
Yeah. I'll pass it on to the others. Yeah, really cool. But then with back-to-backs though, so like, how do you go about doing them usually?
Oh, I mean, they're always spontaneous.
Yeah.
The planned ones, I've only done a couple. I've done one with Jordan. I've done one with that other Hayden. And honestly, I think they're the only two planned back-to-backs I've done.
Like for a full hour, just one?
Yeah, for a full hour and a half. They're like two, like I said, planned ones that we've... Actually, I've done three. I've done one with Dan as well. All three times, we've always just, I guess, talked about what sort of music we want to play. Came to a general consensus of like what style we should play. We get our own music, and then we always just meet up like a week or if sometimes even a day before the event.
Really?
And just do like a test run and just see how it goes. And then every single time we go and do the event and play back to back, we always just end up playing different stuff anyway.
Yeah, really.
We always go like we're going in with a game plan. Apart from me and Dan did an open set, so we end up playing what we're going to play anyway. But the other two have done, we've just ended up playing just different sort of music than what we've planned. Like I remember me and that Hayden did a body control recently. We did 2 or 2:30. Actually, we did 2:30 till close, but it was Jackrabbit Slim, so I think they closed at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. I can't remember.
Yeah.
We will just play like the 140 like hard groove because that's what the guys before were gonna play. We ended up playing like 160 hard techno, and there was like these Europeans in the corner that were just like going ham, and we were like, sick. We just kept progressively going harder and harder. It was cool because me and Hayden were just like trying to one up each other on like the most like the hardest songs we could find on our
That's
USB.
awesome.
We literally started on 140 and just were like, stuff, let's just go harder and harder and harder and harder, just up
And
and
no
up.
one said anything or anything. It
Nope.
was like, no, it's like, yeah, this is good.
The venue managers turned the lights on, but no one had actually ever told us what time we were finishing or anything like that. So we ended up going for like another 15 minutes more with just the lights on, everything, and then they just pulled the music out.
Oh, really?
But we're like, okay, now it's time to go home.
Yeah.
But that was
sorry, guys. Yeah.
that was so much fun. That was actually the same. That was the night after I did the Boiler Soon. Actually, I did it that night as well.
Yeah.
That was such a fun weekend. Did 3 techno sets in one weekend. It was a dream.
So that's definitely like the pathway you want to go down.
For
more.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just hard to get your foot in the door because there's not really
Yeah, there is
many opportunities, so to speak. Like, for example, there's like drum bass is like something on every week or some two events on a week.
That's it. Yeah.
Techno, I know that they're now starting up a weekly at Barb's or Barbers, however you say it.
Yeah. There you go.
But they're getting like international artists in each Friday, I think, and then they just get the 2 owners to play either side or something like that. So it really is a bit hard to get those sort of gigs, but I think you see like the other like I guess bigger techno DJs here in Perth, they do like all the bush stuffs and all those sort of stuff, but I don't know who the hell organises any of them. So it's just
Oh no,
just bush stuffs in general.
Yeah.
Like if I'm thinking who's one of the like top techno, I'd think like J Dream, for example. She's playing like all of them. She like a lot of the ones that she seems to do, like she does all the Habitat ones and then all the Dreamstate ones and some of the Soon ones, and then all the other ones she does is like all the bush stuffs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
It's so weird though, because it's like the bush dwarf community is so good. Like
well,
so good.
I can't say I've been to any of them because I don't know who
But see,
does
like,
any of them.
the
So
same thing with me. Like I've only ever been to bush dwarfs. But in saying that though, having all these people on,
yeah,
like, go to bush dwarfs and like listening to their experiences and actually talking.
they look so much fun. Yeah.
But it's like they really just promote as much as they can the best kind of atmosphere.
Yeah,
Everyone
for sure.
to feel included, safe, the whole lot. If you're not having a good time, there are people to talk to that will be able to help you out and sort you out in the whole lot. Like,
And people are there for the music as well.
That's
obviously
it, yeah.
like there's no commercial music that's played there. It's all just like psytrance, techno, house, everything that's just not commercial.
That's it. Just a bit of everything that is just electronic
stuff
almost.
for everyone. Yeah, which is really cool. So I think eventually it would be cool to do some of them. But yeah, like I said, I just got no idea who does any of them. But that's just me trying to make my pathway and just see how to.
And that's part
get
of the
in with that.
networking and actually diving deep.
That's
into
it
this
for
industry.
sure. Yeah, so I've definitely got like a couple of people who are booking me for like the one-off sort of techno gigs, but I'd love to make it more consistent, which I think will be my goal for next year. I think is like definitely try get the production up and try get some songs out. So I've made a couple, but they're definitely privated on SoundCloud for a reason.
Yeah.
Shown some of my friends, and we're just like, yeah, it's cool.
Well, funnily enough, so you and my roommate, he does production lessons. And he's actually got a degree in it as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
He is so good at what he does.
What's his name?
So Ewan. I'll introduce you to him after
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So he does proper lessons, but he'll be able to I guarantee you in 4 weeks you'll be able to play. You'll be able to make really good techno.
Yeah, because I did. I'm just having a brain fade. Lab 6.
So that's him. That's E Putty.
Oh yeah.
So he's got his own record label and everything as well.
Oh sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pop Collision. Who are the guys who run? He's with Pop Collision, which do Raid Dance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's these guys. So he helps do.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. So a proper record
He's sick.
label.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does
But it's all more so glitch hop and the whole lot, and
Yeah.
IDM as well. What is it? It's not interesting. Intelligent dance music.
Oh,
and stuff.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can help anyone make techno, drum, bass, anything
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, I did that. Yeah, I did Lab 6. I did the production with Tina. But that was, I learnt how to do the business techno, the stuff that I'm no longer, I still love it. I still go to the events. I went to the Technode one, which was last.
Oh, was that good?
It was fun. Yeah, I didn't end up lasting till the guy who I actually wanted to see, but
That's fair, yeah.
No, I saw Space. I wanted to see Sam Wolf, but they end up getting all the headliners to do like 2-hour sets, which is really cool. But I just didn't last till Sam Wolf. I think I went to something the night before, didn't get home till 5, and then I ended up doing a gig, and then I was just so tired by the time I made it to this. But I got to see Space 92, which was cool. I saw him in Melbourne actually a couple of weeks ago as well for the Dreamstate festival, but it was like a much smaller crowd, so it was so cool to see him actually in like a more in a proper club setting with like a proper crowd and everything. It was really cool.
100%.
And everyone was there for music. Everyone was having a good time. Sick headliners. They were all the people that I've wanted to see for ages when I was into that music, for sure.
So how did you find Lab 6 though, like through doing the production course?
Yeah, it was really good. I wasn't like brand new at Ableton, but so I had some basic understanding of some fundamentals. So when I went to Tina, I did like the induction lesson and was like, look, I'm not like a brand new beginner, so probably don't need to do like the first 3 or 4 weeks, which is just like, what is Ableton?
Yeah.
What does an EQ do? What does reverb do?
That's it.
Reverb makes it go boom. So we basically just ended up being like 10 weeks of like, I would go home, like get a track, like, and produce a track as good as I can, take it to her, and then we'd just basically bounce ideas off. She would like show me ways to make things sound better, and just suggest, basically just did studio sessions where we're just bouncing ideas back and forth, and she was just teaching me all these little things, and no, it was really good. It came out the other side of it definitely having more knowledge on everything. But then unfortunately I just fell off it again, I think because I started up uni again.
It's so hard to prioritize things, right?
Yeah.
Like it is. Like even like for me, like I spent 4 years trying to learn the production and do the production side of things on FL Studio.
I started on FL Studio as well.
But I found like the DJing was taking off too much. Then plus also a part-time job during the week.
Yeah.
But also studying and everything else, and so I just trying to fit everything in and just couldn't make it work. Like
you see, my dumbass is like, if I buy this software, then I'll actually use it more. I bought FL Studio and I think I used it twice. I kept using the because the free version of FL Studio is actually really great. You basically get access to everything that FL Studio has, except some of the paid plugins they cut out for like 30 seconds. They just, because they're demo versions, you can use them, but then every so often they just cut out for 30 seconds, and that's just their way to be like, buy our plugin in FL Studio. So
go on. Sorry.
I bought it and was like, all right, if I buy it, then I'm going to use it more. And then that just didn't end up happening. I don't even want to look at how much money I spent on FL Studio. So if you bring it up, I'm not going to look at it.
All right, I want to look. But no, don't look.
Which one did I buy?
Oh my god.
Was it? I think I bought the Signature, and it wasn't $336. It was like $450.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Dumbass bought that.
Should have bought Ableton.
Well, this is the thing. I ended up changing over to Ableton anyway.
But did you buy Ableton now?
I've now bought Ableton. If you go into my Gmail, I have so many dummy emails. It's like Ableton free 1111 and then Ableton free, because they do 90-day free trials. So I just kept making new Gmails and new accounts just to keep getting Ableton for free, because a 90-day free trial unlocked everything. It wasn't like FL Studio where I said like the plugins would cut out for 30 seconds. Ableton, you got full access, and then 90 days were up with like, you know, I'm going to pay for it. But I was like, nope, I'll just make a new account and get another 90 days. I did that so often, and then for some reason it stopped working.
Yeah, they probably caught on to
I managed to get at least 4 or 5 times disabled.
Yeah.
I managed to get 4 or 5 of the 90-day free trial, so I got enough of it and then was like, okay, I'll buy it. And then I managed to get the student discount, so it was like 40% off, so it was actually not that bad in the end. I think I ended up only paying like $230.
That's not bad though.
Actually, I think it might have been a little bit more because I got the most expensive one as well. But it was like something. It was like 550 down to like 300 or something. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad
so
at all.
I've ended up buying that, but I use Ableton a lot more now for sure.
But do you find it more easier to use than
Yeah,
the whole lot?
I read something somewhere on Reddit, and it made so much sense. It was like FL Studio, there are so many ways to do one thing, whereas Ableton, there is one way to do one thing.
Yeah, okay.
And that makes it so much easier. Like, if it's just one way to do one thing, then more space for you to learn things. Whereas like FL Studio is multiple ways to do literally the exact same thing, then your brain just kind of gets clogged up with multiple ways to achieve the exact same thing. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I guess probably the same for everyone. Everyone goes for FL Studio because it looks more visually pleasing,
That's it, yeah.
opposed to Ableton just being like a grey screen. But then you learn that Ableton's so much easier to learn after you get through like the initial just learning of where everything is, for sure.
So the crazy thing as well is like with Ableton and FL Studio, it's just like opening a can of worms almost.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there are so many different things you can do.
I did my DJ mixes on FL Studio back in... I remember this was the one thing I did in high school. So you know how I said I made my playlist on SoundCloud? I also did DJ mixes through FL Studio. I would rip songs from YouTube and then I would blend them together through FL Studio and make hour-long mixes.
Really?
I actually found one the other day deep in my Google Drive, which was like a dubstep and drum and bass one. And I was like, this is such a throwback.
Yeah.
Just
awesome.
would spend like a month making a DJ mix, just like blending it in. I'd even like do the EQs and like the volume automations and everything. And I was like basically destined to be a DJ when I was 15, just from what it sounds like. It just took me 6 years to start it.
Yeah. That's it.
But yeah.
So what, like we've only got around like 10-15 minutes left.
Yeah, it's cool.
So then like what have you got in the pipeline for your project for Hades? And, like,
Just getting more. I'm just definitely trying to push this techno thing as far as I really can. I would love to. I mean, I think I can say like a big goal dream would to get it over internationally, but that's like well into the future. I think getting it over east seems a lot more achievable at this stage, especially from where I am. I see a few of the guys who are like making tracks and putting tracks out consistently and getting picked up like by some of the Melbourne and Sydney clubs, and they get flown over to do like one gig and come back. Yeah. So I think at the moment it's just like making music and just getting it out there. And like I said, I'm definitely going to have another crack. I had this Zoom call with like this Polish dude actually 2 days ago about getting some more techno lessons, because it's literally on YouTube there's 3 resources for hard techno production, and this guy was the cheapest, so I was like, I'll book a Zoom call with him. He basically took control of my Ableton project of one of the songs I've made, went through every little bit of it and made notes, and was like, all right, I'll come back to you in like a couple of weeks and we'll make a lesson on how to make this better and like how to use different effects and stuff. And I was like, that's sick. So
that's awesome.
I'm gonna do a few lessons with him and see where that goes, because his YouTube videos are super.
Yeah, but that's really cool. That it's like he actually went through Ableton, like dialed in through your computer. Right?
It was kind of scary as well because I've never used Zoom before, but he basically set it up in a way, just call it remote access. So he basically took control of my computer, went through one of the projects of one of the songs I've actually fully finished, and he just went through every single channel and just like went through the processing of everything. And he basically came back and was like, so you're not a beginner, so you don't need to know this and this, but he says your stuff is okay. And I'm like, ouch. But like, you know, I'd rather hear that than him be like, I don't really know what I can do with you just need to practice more. At least he was able to be like, you can do this and this and this better. So
that's good though in a way. Some Polish guys like, no, you're not.
Yeah, well, like I said, he was like one of 3, and he's not a big YouTuber. He's got like 5,500 subscribers or something like that. But compared to the other 2 YouTubers who were charging like $400 for like full production, like bouncing off each other.
You have his, you know what his account is?
It's like DR1L, I think his name. He goes by L. But yeah, so his name, I think his DJ name or producer name is Drill, but that's his spelling. No. So like, Marson, that's him.
This guy.
No, so I think that's his track that he's put up. But the second video, so that
however you say Polish, Marcin.
Yeah, but
cool.
You guys speak Polish.
He does like some really, really in-depth videos. Like his YouTube videos are like 20-30 minutes long on how to do something. They're great. Yeah. But like
Shout out this guy.
Say again.
Shout out this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy,
The other 2 guys like are charging stupid amounts of money for their production, and I was production lessons, and I was like, nah, stuff that.
That's it.
But his is actually really decently priced, so I'll probably do a couple of them and see where that goes.
That's it. Like you just got to do your research.
Yeah,
if you
that's
want
it.
This one thing, like I talk to people about, but it's like if you want something, do your research into it first.
Yeah, for sure.
Figure out which version of it do you want.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole idea is like, oh, I'm lining up out the front of the Apple store for the new iPhone.
Yeah.
But it's like, has it changed from the last iPhone? Not really.
That's why I'm rocking the S20 Samsung when I think they're up to like S24 or something, and I keep going like, I keep getting messages from Optus being like, you could trade your phone in an upgrade. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah,
it's the same.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That's it. Exactly.
But that's exactly it. And same thing as all, like what you're saying with the DJ decks as well. Doing your research, finding out what you want within your budget, and then making it work.
Yeah, the other guy, I think he was charging, I don't know how much a ghost producer is. I've never looked it up. I'm not doing ghost producing. But he was charging like $700 USD for a can't even talk. Ghost produced track. And I was like, nah, stuff that.
That's it. Some people, I mean, that's what Fisher
Ghost produce.
Fisher does that though. That's the thing about it.
Like, yeah.
Some people do it. But then that's like, it comes down to, it's just like, you know, their level of...
Just depends, I guess, what you want to be known for as well. Like Fisher's definitely known for his personality and more than... I mean, his tracks are big and great, but yeah, he's definitely more known for a personality than his actual music, is he?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, so I guess it really depends what sort of pathway you want to go down. There's a lot of people who are literally just making it off their just being a DJ personality these days. You don't necessarily need to make your own music, but it definitely helps stand out for sure.
That's exactly it. Having the whole package instead of just being like...
because I think
jumping around on stage and being
exactly, because even that I reckon will become super saturated at the moment. There's definitely a lot of people that are getting themselves to a point where, like, even just beyond like a local level, they're getting like international gigs just from playing like other people's music. They don't actually have any of their own music, which is not a bad thing. They're good DJs, but that's just how it is at the moment. And then I think it will cycle back and be like, right, you've got to now make your own music to actually stand out from the crowd again, because then everyone will start playing other people's music and thinking they can make it. And
that's
you know, so
but that's sometimes that's like how it all just comes together though. It's like they are just DJs and they just play other people's music. But then it's like they're playing festivals and the whole lot. But then eventually it's like they'll make like a few songs, and like the songs might not be the best, but
they could incorporate them in. Yeah, I mean, especially in the hard techno scene, there's a lot of real good like hard techno producers out there as well. But the sets that the hard techno DJs play, they hardly play any of their own songs. Yeah, they put out their own tracks for like content and stuff. But they're super rare. They might put out a track maybe once every 3 months, but they get their gigs literally from just like videoing their sets. They show it's like crazy high energy and everything, but their sets have got none of their own music. They just play other people's music. That's just how it is.
But see, that's where it's so interesting as well, because it's like, say, I love techno, absolutely love techno, but in saying that, like, it's such long format, and I get like, I just itch to just swap it up, just change it, to do this, to do that. Like,
I think that's probably why I've moved from general techno to like harder techno, because even though hard techno songs are still relatively like 5 to 6 minutes, it's getting to a point where they're mixing it so quickly.
Like
they will mix. It's still like a 64 like bar intro, but people will still mix it in that last 16.
That's it.
Play the breakdown, play the drop for maybe 16, 24, 32 bars, another song. So they're mixing it like it's just any other song, playing it for like literally only 1 or 2 minutes, which for me is the exact same thing I think is what you were going to say. I get bored and want to touch things, and I hate pretending that I'm doing stuff. Like I have to be doing something.
That's where it's like I find it just so interesting and whack as well, when it's like a DJ go play 5 minutes of a song and they're standing there just like and then they tend to touch the EQs like and they're not really doing much. Like,
one of my favorite gigs I've actually ever done was it's so ironic actually that one of my favorite gigs was actually one that I did like that, playing the songs in their entirety, because it was one of the gigs at Barb's and it was like a boiler room one, but the stage was still like on a podium sort of thing, so it was like you could see the entire crowd down, but they allowed people up on the podium as well. Super scary because people were like dangling their drinks over the decks and everything. But I did a 3:30 till 5 set. Kind of got told I needed to play different music than what I originally got told. I had to play like a bit harder and faster. But then I literally didn't have enough tracks, or at least enough tracks to mix quickly, so I was like doing the exact same thing, playing the songs in their entirety of like 5, sometimes 6 minutes, and then I was like, what do I do? Just turning the bass off and on, and that sometimes doing the filter and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But
little minuscule things. But
I was just glad no one cared at the end of the day. They just wanted to
just dance.
yeah,
groove,
exactly.
boogie,
So lucky. But
that's it. That's what's so good about venues that do play techno, tech house, other things. Not so much drum and bass or commercial music, but it's just like people are just there to have a good time.
Yeah, that's it.
Whilst like with commercial music and commercial pubs and bars, like market grounds, it's almost like sometimes they have almost ulterior motives.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like they're there to pick up girls, or they're there
definitely more
after work mates, or
social atmosphere. Definitely.
That's it. It's a social atmosphere.
That's what.
Yeah, it's. Well, so what were we gonna say?
I was just gonna say I've noticed that as well. Just even with the commercial clubs, they play out that even though there's like people dancing and it's dancey music, it's still definitely like a very social atmosphere. Not people are there for the music, but like more so just like to sing along when they hear their favorite song, But they will still just like socialize with their friends in the middle of the dance floor. Whereas like the techno events, everyone's there for music. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, that was like I said, one of my favorite gigs I've done to date actually.
Oh, so that was for DS events as well. Yeah, okay.
That was the second one I played for them actually. I got a closing set. I've like started loving the closing sets actually, just for even commercial gigs and everything. Everyone kind of goes like, oh, I don't want to stay up that late, or like the money's not worth it for that hour, and I'm like, well, I get to play whatever the heck I feel like, so
that's it.
It's great.
It would just be awesome though, because like doing like the opening slot, sure, it's the opening slot, people are still coming in,
that's it.
But when you do like the late slot, it's just ram packed in there. It's jam packed, and just people just want to have fun, enjoy it, and just.
You can also get the flip side though, if like people start leaving, you kind of go, oh, I'm playing the wrong music, but
that's it,
yeah.
But sometimes that's the thing about DJing as well. It's like sometimes they're just tired and they want to go home.
That's it.
But that's where a lot of people take it on themselves, being like, oh shit, people are leaving. How do I get them to stay? But they're like, oh, they've been dancing for 6 hours. They just want to go home.
That's what I think about. Hey, like, there's been a couple of times where I think like I'm very harsh on myself as a DJ sometimes. Like I kind of might have a crowd, for example, and I do one of the later slots, and then it really kind of spaces out and I go, damn, I'm playing like the wrong music or whatever. But then exactly like you said, people have been dancing since like 8, 9 o'clock, maybe sometimes 10, and I'm coming on at like 2 a.m. People want to go home, it's late. There'll be like the gremlins that will stay out till 3, 4, 5 a.m. but there's a lot less of them than the general party goers, so
that's it. So we've only got 3 minutes left. So you've got your plans for the future, so like what you want to do in the whole lot. But then so you're still going to try and like, would you try and make DJing full time if you could? Or
I have considered that. Over June and July, I had my busiest 2 months ever, and I was making what I considered like really good money for what I was doing, and I was like, maybe I could quit my BWS job and just do DJing full time. But I think I like the security of having BWS as a part-timer, because then I at least have contracted hours each week, and I know at least I'm going to get X amount of money by the end of the thing. Whereas DJing is very like fluctuating, isn't it? Sometimes you'll have like, I remember actually it was about a month ago now, I literally had 7 gigs in the weekend.
7 gigs.
And then, but most of the time I literally have like 1 or 2, you know, so it's really up and down like that,
That's
so.
it, and that's the thing about it. It's like as soon as it hits winter, people don't want to go out as much.
Yeah, that's it.
Like some clubs are still heaving because it's like a sweat pit. But most of the time people just stay at home, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, I would love to make DJing like
more
full time, but also at the same time, I kind of think like if I was going to make it full time, then that really means I need to be really confident in having like 9 p.m. till at least 9 till 2 p.m. gigs, like Friday, Saturday, even sometimes like Sunday, and then even the odd one during the week. But I just don't know if I have that confidence yet to make it full time.
But that's the thing, it just takes time, and then you never know. I reckon you probably will go full time eventually.
Yeah, and then also at the same time, it's like I don't know if I want to make it full time in the sense of like it becoming like a job, so to speak. There's only been really a few times that I've done a gig and been like, this really just feels like work, and I feel like once it feels like that and I get to the weekend and go, oh great, now I have to DJ like this and this, I think that's when it will become like a bit of an issue. At the moment, I look forward to every weekend and doing the gigs that I've booked for, and I still want to continue having that feeling like for as long as possible. So I don't know whether going full time will kind of lose that sort of magic to some sense. But
that's the thing about it. It's just
Yeah.
you know, just juggling it and then trying to keep the passion there.
yeah, for sure.
Whilst also, you know, doing it as much.
Yeah,
as
you still
can.
want to be excited every weekend to do it. Otherwise,
That's
you're
it.
just gonna rock up and play some songs, not really care about what happens, and
Yeah.
just get paid. And I don't really want that,
No.
you know. So
No, that's a really good way to look at it.
yeah, and I think it helps definitely with trying to get more techno gigs as well, because playing the same set like week in week out kind of gets that towards that mindset. But then you do one of these like really fun ones, and then it reminds you why you started doing it in the first place, you know. So
That's it. Yeah. That's exactly it. It's a really good way to end it.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, cheers so much for coming on though.
No, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it and the whole lot, and it's been good. So,
Yeah.
So next week we have.
Here we go.
Oh, we were going to look at, was it Filth and Pleasure or was it?
We
Yeah. So yeah, I think we've got Filth and Pleasure coming.
more techno.
So much techno.
More techno.
Yeah.
Techno
Taking over.
this month.
Yeah. A lot of techno. It's the Christmas period.
Yeah, lots of events.
And there's
Techno
nothing
Christmas.
I think of with Christmas more than techno.
Yeah. That's it. That's exactly it.
In saying that, I'm quite literally doing a techno gig on Christmas Eve.
Really?
Going to Christmas at Geisha Bar.
Nice.
Small plug.
Yeah,
But there you go.
Little plug, yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
Are you coming to Hard soon as well, the day before?
I will be.
Yeah.
I can't. I would not have anything on. I would have no excuse not to rock up.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we'd take fun out of the creativity.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
That's true.
whilst Josh is here, all right, let's pull up Soon platform.
Yeah.
All right. Like, yeah, we got to plug it.
Sadly,
So-
we couldn't find the
Oh no,
content
maybe
set.
no, don't plug
Full Soon.
don't plug Full Soon. Plug Soon platform. So Full Soon was a fun party that we hosted a while ago. That's all you need to know. It was a party.
It was a party.
But the Soon platform, though, if anyone is watching and they want to be part of a really good community of people that love to hang out, have fun, party, and just get amongst it and become sesh gremlins, yeah, come join in on the Soon platform.
Absolutely. Yeah, here it is.
Right, here we go. Yep.
Soon summer series.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe you might start seeing a couple of the boys around. Certain
It really is a cool
guests-
community.
Certain guests we've had on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's such a bad photo of me.
Oh, how great is Aaron?
Yeah.
No, it really is cool, the events that you guys put together, and seeing the people, like, and seeing the turnout and for all the events is really cool.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. A hard techno Christmas.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna
Anyway.
be, yeah. It's gonna be very good. All right. So we will see you guys next week with Filth and Pleasure. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Adios.
Adios. All right. Catch you guys soon.